Hey Noah.
Yep.
Hey bud. There's about 10,000 people want to know why you didn't work last weekend.
I went to the mountains.
Went to the mountains and done what?
Partied.
Partied?
Partied.
Yeah, okay. Alright, Noah's pulling the engine out of the Mercedes. Got an idea, got plans. We'll talk more about that later. But anyway, you ready to pull, Noah?
Not quite.
No.
The electronics is all undone.
This is actually, we found pretty simple. Everything plugged in. I mean, not much to it. Bottom side is going to be the worst, but we'll either pick it up with a forklift or we'll just flip it up on its side. Probably flip it up on its side, the easiest. But we'll have it out here in a little bit. Alright, so we got the title for this car, and so Junior, if you're watching, we got you a nice set of Douglas tires here. They're not brand new, but they're not bad. So we've been waiting to get some 15s in for him. So thank goodness they brought me the title, and I didn't even look to see what year it was. Let me see if I can figure it out. Alright, it's an 06 model. I think none of these tires are hurt. They just got some dirt in between where he slid. And this one looks low, but it's actually got air in it. So as long as we don't see no cuts, we'll get the forklift and pick it up. We'll get them off of there. He had just renewed the tags on it and just had it inspected and filled it up with fuel right before he wrecked it. So, or the day before he wrecked it. So, okay. Noah and I have been working on this, pulling the motor transmission out. This is the bottom side of the Mercedes. Haven't worked on any projects today. I've been running a little bit, and just because we've got so much we need to do around here, cleaning up wise and stuff, I've been moving stuff around and cleaning too. And I figured if we could go ahead and get this engine out of this thing, because I decided to keep the engine, get the converters off, and then we'll get the wheels and tires off, go ahead and get it to the crusher. Transmission, I doubt it's any good. You can see it got hot under there. Didn't get to the engine at all, really, except for what I showed you on the top side. But the reason I'm doing this, this is supposed to be really good engines. And what we're going to try, if you can see, the injectors, multi-port fuel injected, go into the intake. Now there may be an extra hole in the head, may not be, but what we're going to do is we're going to pull that intake off. We'll end up making, now this ain't, we're not planning to do this today or tomorrow, but we'll make a sheet metal intake, and then we'll figure out a way to drive a V8, probably an HI distributor off of one of the cams here. And it's got 4 on this side, 4 on the other side. And then we'll be able to run this engine without any of the electronics at all. And I'll show you, how we're going to make the manifold, whether we use round tube or we just, build the whole thing out of sheet metal. And then transmission wise, it's going to have to be adapted to an older style transmission or a different style transmission because of the electronics. Now the starter does mount on the bell housing, so we're going to have to take the bell housing and at least use it as a pattern to get a measurement off of, so I can make like a 1/2-inch plate that goes in between it as an adapter to still bolt the starter on, and also bolt whatever transmission we put to it, and probably 350 turbo or something like that. So anyway, we got it up on the side. They coming now?
Yep.
Alright. We should have it out here in just a little bit, and I'll show you more. Okay, we just about got it. The heater hoses is behind the engine, so we had to pull it far enough forward to get them out. We'll see what happens here. Making water. Alright. What did we miss now? Didn't miss anything, did we? I think we got it all. shift your linkage just holding us up. And push it over while I pick up. Tuck in there. There you go. Alright, bud. Coming to me. Alright. Alright, here it is, out and hanging. Front sump oil pants, that sort of limits you to what you can put it in. I did notice that the transmission is actually made for a starter on either side, it looks like. Yeah, the bolts are up there too. You can see the hole right up at the top of it. So that's kind of weird. But what would be involved would be making a pattern the exact same. We don't need any of this. This is a crank sensor. They got it on the flywheel, timing sensor. So we would actually make a plate that would be thick enough to handle a starter, and then just bolt the starter back in place like it is. And then from the plate we would work the mounts on the plate to mount the other transmission. And you know, as long as you dial indicate everything in and drill it all, get it right. I have made an adapter before and put countersink socketed cap screws in to hold it, because the other transmission actually went over top of where the bolts were, so that worked out really well. And I only used a 1/4 inch plate for it because the engine that I was putting it in, it didn't need the starter mounted on the transmission. So you know, that's not really a big issue. You know, there's some time and work involved in adapting it, but that's not that bad. The intake, that's not a big issue either. I'll have to get the intake off and see what the ports look like in there, what's going to be involved with I mean, there's a good chance that from looking at these that the injectors just shoot into the intake itself and do not go into the heads whatsoever, so that'd make it pretty easy. I think there may be a water port, may or may not be a water port running across. This rear one, I would say going into the intake, I'd say this rear one is actually, this rear port is actually a water port. Not this or this, but this one. So that would involve building a plate, you know, threading it pipe thread and running a crossover pipe. You could do that with actually a you know, like a hydraulic line, a hose, something like that. So that's not that big of an issue. Distributor, like I said, you can run off the front. We would have to figure something out to run off of one of the cams. There's dual overhead cams. So we'll look in more into it later on. But anyway, it's just an idea. All right, Noah, you tired yet?
Yeah.
Good. We're gonna keep on working a couple more hours.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, folks, I wanted to tell anybody that is possibly from around here local. I know Scott up toward Greensboro. I want to let him know. Monday the 17th, I've arranged with a local place here. It's called I Love New York Pizza. It's a pizza place. And they have just moved into this area from probably, I guess, about 10 miles away. But anyway, they've got a nice place down there, and I've known the guy for a long time. And we have arranged a cruise in from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock on Monday nights, the third Monday of every month. And that's for anybody and everybody. You know, it don't matter if it's a low rider or four-wheel drives or, you know, old cars, newer cars, whatever, it don't matter. But he's going to cut us a deal on the food, and then, you know, I don't know what we're going to do, but, you know, just a little get-together for everybody. And a lot of the rat rod builders will be down there, and with their vehicles. And just want to let everybody know, anybody that's local enough to come on. The only problem I'm foreseeing so far is we do have a hurricane coming, and for some reason, if it rains or rains us out or something, we'll probably do it the following Monday, or we will do it the following Monday, and but it'll still be back on the schedule of the third Monday of every month. And just something I've wanted to do for a long time. Just first, a lot of people don't like Mondays. Mondays don't bother me, but it would be nice for everybody to have something to do on a Monday that maybe they can look forward to. And second, we can make sure everybody gets together. And like I said, it's only 3 hours. So, but anybody local or local enough to come, come on. All right, bye.